You had your little chance to knock me out, didn't you? Couldn't do it, could you? Hit me with 10 shots in a row and couldn't do it.
You too have chance.
Tyson Fury didn't need to throw a single punch in the ring to deliver a devastating blow to Oleksandr Usyk. His fierce, unfiltered response made its own headlines. The heated confrontation between these two heavyweight giants erupted after Usyk boldly posted an Instagram story that didn't just push the boundaries of sportsmanship, it completely shattered them, setting off a whirlwind of reactions across the boxing world. Fury, never one to stay silent and famous for his sharp tongue and fearless approach inside and outside the ring, clapped back instantly. His words landed with the same intensity as one of his signature punches, raw, ruthless, and direct. This fiery back-and-forth escalated the drama, intensifying a rivalry already boiling over with animosity. What's unfolding now isn't just a question of who's the better boxer, it's become a deeply personal war fueled by pride, egos, and psychological warfare. While the global boxing audience counts down the days until they finally clash in the ring, Fury's verbal barrage has already ignited the spark for what is shaping up to be one of the most explosive heavyweight showdowns in recent memory.
Tyson, don't be afraid. I will not leave you alone.
As anticipation grows for this highly awaited rematch, particularly following the bizarre Mike vs. Jake event that left many questioning boxing's integrity, it appears Oleksandr Usyk may have forgotten a crucial principle. Boxing isn't supposed to resemble a circus sideshow fueled by gimmicks and theatrics. The sport is grounded in respect, discipline, and the fine balance of controlled aggression, not petty tricks meant to grab headlines. While celebrity matchups might capture the attention of casual viewers, hardcore boxing fans yearn for true competition, clashes driven by skill, grit, and authentic rivalry. Tyson Fury, proudly calling himself the king of everything, represents that authentic spirit. Loud, brash, and never afraid of stirring controversy, Fury is well known for his larger-than-life image, but underneath the bravado is a fighter with deep respect for the sport's traditions. One thing he won't accept is foolishness from his challengers, especially when it distracts from the true essence of boxing. Fury's confidence isn't empty, it's supported by an unblemished record, hard-won experience, and an unwavering drive to prove he's more than just an entertainer, he's a true master of his craft. With the rematch on the horizon, the friction between him and Usyk transcends typical promotional antics, it's a full-on collision of pride, principle, and the pursuit of legacy.
I know his team are a little bit upset. They've even compared me to Vladimir Putin today. I'm not sure why, because I've been rapping to fuck your team, fuck Usyk, fuck the Alex, and if you're down with Usyk, well fuck you too, just like Tupac said.
We're talking about the Gypsy King here, a man whose entire identity is built around being untouchable, the undefeated powerhouse who's ruled the heavyweight scene with brute dominance and a razor-sharp tongue. Tyson Fury has always fed off the image of being invincible, thriving on roaring crowds, fan admiration, and the belief that nobody could rival his size, skills, or mental tactics. But let's be honest, following his first ever professional loss to Oleksandr Usyk, that once impervious image is starting to show signs of wear, and they're impossible to hide. This wasn't just another loss, it was a monumental shift in Fury's story, a brutal reminder that not even he is immune. He's been hyping this rematch as his countdown to redemption, which, stripped of its theatrical tone, really translates to, I must win or it's all over. That defeat wasn't some unfortunate fluke, it was a calculated takedown by Usyk, who exposed every weakness Fury tried to keep hidden. Fury walked into that bout overconfident, relying on his usual combination of mental warfare and raw talent, but that backfired. Especially during that infamous 9th round, remember it? The round where Usyk didn't just outperform Fury, he dismantled him, making Fury appear as if he didn't belong in the same arena. His footwork faltered, his reactions lagged, and for the first time, Fury looked unsure of himself, trapped in the headlights of Usyk's relentless pressure. It wasn't just a defeat, it was a jaw-dropping humbling in front of the world, the kind of moment that sticks in your psyche long after the fight ends. For someone like Fury, who's built his career on dominance and bravado, it must have felt like being publicly dethroned, an ego-crushing reality no amount of smack talk can erase. Now, when he speaks of redemption, it doesn't ring with the conviction of a confident champion, it feels more like damage control, a carefully spun narrative to maintain the illusion. The question is, does Fury truly believe in his comeback, fueled by the hunger to reclaim his throne? Or is all this bravado just a desperate smokescreen to hide a creeping sense of doubt? Because deep down, even Fury has to wonder, what if Usyk's performance wasn't a one-off, but a statement of superiority?
Usyk's a worried man, and I've been around fighting men all my life. I can see inside the soul. He knows he's facing the best Tyson Fury, and what we've worked on, and how he is, and how he's...
The stakes have never been higher. This isn't just another fight to add to a record, it's Tyson Fury's legacy on the line. A second defeat, and the illusion of the Gypsy King shatters completely. How can you claim to be the king when the crown keeps slipping into your rival's hands? Fury knows this, and you can see the pressure weighing on him. This bout is no longer just about Usyk, it's about Fury fighting to protect his name, his brand, and his standing as boxing's heavyweight icon. Meanwhile, Usyk remains composed, likely sipping his tea while calmly strategizing how to dismantle Fury once again. Usyk doesn't merely train, he analyzes. He dissects his opponents like he's preparing for a thesis. And when it comes to psychological warfare, Fury's once unshakable trash talk seems to be losing its sting. Usyk appears immune to his verbal assaults, in fact, he flips them into comedy. Take Greedy Belly, for example. That nickname? Pure brilliance. It's more than a jab at Fury's fluctuating weight, it's a sly attack on his self-discipline, vanity, and unpredictability. Fury can huff and puff all he wants, but Usyk? He just responds with calm, cutting quips that hit harder than most insults. In the arena of psychological games, it looks like the king of trash talk might have finally met his match.
Hey, my friend Greedy Belly, continue training. I'm rest, brother. I know. You hard work. It's good. Appreciate.
When Tyson Fury entered the ring against Oleksandr Usyk last May, he wasn't just facing Usyk, he was also battling the circus erupting in his own corner. The chaos happening outside the ropes nearly overshadowed the main event, and leading the disruption was none other than John Fury, Tyson's father, who seemed dead set on becoming the star of the show with his over-the-top antics that could rival any reality TV character. It wasn't just casual viewers who cringed, boxing legends like Ricky Hatton also weighed in, slamming the corner's behavior as a total disaster. John Fury has always been unpredictable, but that night, he turned up the volume to absurd levels. As head trainer Sugar Hill Stewart tried to provide focused, strategic guidance, John countered with his own erratic commands, turning what should have been a disciplined operation into a noisy power struggle. Imagine it, one of the world's best heavyweights trying to stay composed while battling a cerebral opponent like Usyk. Only to have his corner erupt into what sounded more like a chaotic karaoke session. The mental distraction was obvious. While Fury exchanged blows with Usyk, he was simultaneously being pulled down by the dysfunction in his own corner. Now, removing his father's disruptive presence and surrounding himself with a cohesive team is no longer optional, it's essential. Because at this level, the spotlight should belong to the fighter in the ring, not the drama around him.
5 rounds. Usyk is a good little fighter at middleweight and light heavyweight, maybe up and cruiser, but he can't mess with them big guys.
In fact, John Fury ended up becoming the unexpected headline of the entire boxing world after his outlandish behavior in Tyson's corner contributed to the Gypsy King's first professional defeat at the hands of Oleksandr Usyk during May's undisputed World Heavyweight Championship. And if that wasn't enough, he doubled down on the controversy by getting into a physical altercation at son Tommy Fury's press conference, fanning the flames even further and earning waves of public criticism and ridicule. Among those mocking him most prominently? None other than Oleksandr Usyk himself.
Little John, be quiet.
This chaotic situation has raised major concerns about John Fury's influence in Tyson Fury's training camp. And let's be real, when someone as seasoned as Ricky Hatton, who's been through the heat of elite-level wars, calls it out, it's not just noise. Hatton didn't merely offer criticism, he gave a stern warning. Tyson needs a clear, unified voice guiding him, not a disorganized free-for-all. But here's where things get tricky. Tyson's loyalty to his father runs deep, so deep that even when it clashes with his professional interests, he sticks by him. For the Fury clan, loyalty isn't optional, it's sacred. The problem is, in the brutal business of boxing, emotional ties don't win belts. Enter Sugar Hill Stewart and Andy Lee, two respected boxing minds tasked with bringing structure to the madness. Sugar Hill's record speaks for itself, and Andy Lee has thrived under bright lights. Both understand the blueprint required for Tyson's success: discipline, clarity, and strategic focus. But here's the real challenge: can they assert control over John Fury's overpowering presence? Because if they fail, and the same circus atmosphere engulfs Tyson during the rematch, Usyk will feast on that disorder. However, Tyson seems to be considering a different path, one that might finally deliver the stability he desperately needs to rise again as heavyweight king.
Focused and a little bit more smart to get the victory. As it would seem, my rematch with people is always ends up one way. I always end up knocking them out.
And speaking of Usyk, he doesn't rely on theatrics, loud bravado, or attention-seeking stunts. He's simply ruthlessly efficient. His display in May was nothing short of a strategic masterclass. While Fury attempted to lean on his usual advantages, his height, reach, and physical strength, Usyk went to work with slicing footwork, surgical angles, and a boxing brain that rivaled the thinking of a chess prodigy. By the time the 9th round arrived, Usyk had Fury completely deciphered. He picked apart Fury's defensive lapses and demonstrated once and for all that raw size is meaningless without the intelligence and technical command to use it. That night, Usyk wasn't just a competitor, he was a tactician in full control, making every exchange feel like it was unfolding on his terms.
Counting down the days until I can get my redemption on Usyk. December the 21st is going to be my time. I've done everything in boxing, but I ain't come back from a loss. And I relish it.
What makes Oleksandr Usyk so terrifying isn't just his supreme skills, it's his adaptability. Unlike most fighters who stick rigidly to a preset game plan, Usyk steps into the ring ready to observe, adapt, and evolve with every round. That's precisely how he flipped the narrative in their first meeting. While Fury hoped to wear him down through pressure and weight, Usyk had already shifted gears mid-fight, leaving Fury chasing shadows and momentum. As the bout wore on, it became clear, this wasn't a battle about Fury's power, but about Usyk's total control. And Usyk's self-belief? It doesn't come from loudmouth confidence or headline-grabbing taunts, it's born from relentless discipline and unbreakable commitment. While Fury focused on mind games, Usyk meticulously refined his tools, quietly building a style that left the Gypsy King grasping. Usyk doesn't waste breath on hype, every movement in the ring is intentional, calculated, and designed to break his opponent without wasting energy. That's exactly what makes him such a lethal presence, his mastery of control and his ability to remain focused under fire.
Because Fury is from a gypsy background, and those boys are taught to fight at the age of 3-4 years.
And here's where the rematch becomes truly compelling. It's no longer about who's stronger, heavier, or more imposing, it's about intellect, game planning, and psychological warfare before the opening bell even rings. Tyson Fury has long used his physical gifts, his size, reach, and unusual movement to wear down rivals like a walking wall of exhaustion. He's leaned on fighters, drained them, and mentally crushed them until they folded. But in May, all of that meant nothing. Usyk didn't fall for Fury's usual tricks. He refused to be overwhelmed. Instead, he countered with a boxing clinic, using precision footwork, timing, and intelligence to neutralize every one of Fury's strengths. Usyk methodically dismantled Fury's entire playbook. He set the rhythm, dictated the fight's pace, and uncovered holes in Fury's armor that most opponents never even notice, let alone exploit. Each time Fury tried to muscle his way in, Usyk ducked out, struck cleanly, and vanished before retaliation. It was technical brilliance, and it flipped the script on what had long been considered Fury's advantage. Even Fury's psychological edge, the trash talk, the posturing, the attempts to unnerve, fell flat. Usyk didn't flinch. He didn't blink. He didn't take the bait. And here's what's critical: if Tyson's corner once again falls into disarray, filled with chaos, mixed instructions, and no strategic direction, Usyk will pounce. He's not just fighting his opponent, he's fighting their preparation, their corner dynamics, their cohesion. Every tiny misstep, every brief lapse in focus is a door Usyk knows how to open. He doesn't just punish fighters, he punishes the people around them. That's why this rematch isn't about size or power, it's about mental sharpness, adaptability, and control. In elite-level boxing, brute strength takes a backseat to the mind. The one who thinks faster, adjusts smarter, and executes under pressure is the one who rises. This is Fury's moment to prove he's more than just a bulldozer with reach, that he can evolve, recalibrate, and outthink the man who's already schooled him once. For Usyk, it's the opportunity to cement his position at the top and prove that his last win wasn't circumstantial, it was evidence of superior preparation and unmatched skill. At its heart, this is more than a rematch, it's a cerebral showdown, a test of resilience, a war of mental endurance. It's about who can stay composed when plans fail, who can improvise in the heat of combat, and who understands that the brain, not the brawn, ultimately wins the battle.
Heavyweight, and the heavyweights were never really that good in terms.
At its core, this fight has evolved beyond a typical physical clash, it's a head-on collision of ideologies. A match between two men who represent boxing's extremes. On one side stands Tyson Fury, the self-styled Gypsy King, who has carved out a career based on chaos, unpredictability, and an ironclad belief in his own invincibility. Fury's strategy isn't just physical, it's psychological. He looks to break opponents before they ever trade punches. His theatrical bravado, his defiant charisma, and the uncontrollable energy of his family, particularly his father, have always been part of the force field that surrounds him. These elements have helped him weather storms both in the ring and in life. But following his defeat at the hands of Usyk, that once impenetrable armor looks cracked. And the looming question is whether it will hold when tested again. Opposite him stands Oleksandr Usyk, Fury's polar opposite in every conceivable way. Calm, composed, methodical. Usyk cares nothing for theatrics. His attention is laser-focused on fundamentals, precision, control, and technical mastery. While Fury thrives in bedlam, Usyk thrives in clarity. He doesn't trash talk, he executes. His in-ring performance speaks volumes louder than any press conference or boastful claim. He's dismantled elite opponents not with brute force, but with clinical efficiency, using strategy and timing to wear them down. His approach is that of a grandmaster, with each movement part of a greater, patient design. So the burning question ahead of this rematch is brutally simple. Can Tyson Fury silence the distractions, overcome the inner turmoil, and rediscover the intensity that once made him the division's top dog? Or will Usyk, once again, prove that in boxing, control beats chaos, and discipline beats drama? Because make no mistake, this isn't just another payday or spectacle. It's a defining battle, a chance to either rebuild or collapse everything these men have fought for. For Fury, it's about redemption, silencing doubters, and proving his reign isn't finished. For Usyk, it's a moment to make history, to prove that his win wasn't just legitimate, it was legendary. When the bell rings, this will be more than a fight. It'll be a clash of two worlds, and only one will emerge from the storm victorious. This isn't just about belts, it's about legacy, survival, and the kind of moments that define boxing history. If you enjoyed the fight, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more knockout content only on Knuckle Forge.